Respect should never leave us, even when the tempers burn. Listen close now.
Hey!
I've walked enough miles to know the difference.
Tell me.
Between a pretty smile and true intention.
Yes.
Everybody loves the good times.
Yes, they do.
Few want the weight of the mission. Love ain't measured by fancy trips or labels stitched on expensive sleeves.
Yes.
It's born in the quiet midnight hour. When the whole world stops believing. I ain't hunting for perfection.
You are not.
I ain't looking for no queen on the
Tell us
throne.
more. Tell us more.
Just a woman who brings soft peace.
Yes.
Instead of turning my life into a show.
Tell us.
Looks might catch these tired eyes tonight, but character holds this heart. Chemistry can start a fire. Integrity keeps it from falling apart. If you wanna be my woman, you better know what real love requires.
Woo!
Don't just chase the lifestyle, baby. Help me build a home and tend the fire. If you wanna be my woman, don't compete. Come build this team. Bring your peace, I'll bring my purpose. That's the life we always dream. I don't need another audience, clapping only when the money rolls in. I need somebody who'll sit beside me when the storms start closing in.
Yes.
We'll disagree from time to time. That's just the truth of being real. But respect better never leave.
All right. What is going on here?
When the hurt starts to heal. Let's build wealth instead of drama. Let's raise children, not regret.
Woo!
Let's make memories worth the keeping. Not a list of old upsets. Every season tests two hearts. Only truth survives the years. Real love ain't found by luck. It's built through laughter, faith and tears. If you wanna be my woman, you better know what real love requires. Don't just chase the lifestyle, baby. Help me build a home and tend the fire. If you wanna be my woman, don't compete. Come build this team. Bring your peace, I'll bring my purpose. That's the life.
Cartoon!
We always dream. Bring honesty when nobody's watching. Bring loyalty when the room goes quiet. Bring grace when the load gets heavy. Bring hope when the future feels like it's dying. I'll protect, you'll nurture, I'll provide, you'll inspire. Different strength, one direction. That's how to souls climb higher. If you wanna be my woman, walk with me through joy and pain. We'll build something that outlives us both, brick by brick through sun and rain. If you wanna be my woman, let's become each other's dream. Bring your peace, I'll bring my purpose. Together we're a stronger team. No games, no pretending, no chasing empty trends. Just two people choosing each other again tomorrow, and again the day after that.
Yes.
If you wanna be my woman, let's build a life, not just a moment.
Six solid minutes of pure fire. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Kev Senior, thank you so much for being here, Kev. Acha nioshe kanisa kabla mtumishi aingie. I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. The monitoring spirits had left when the music was playing. Now the monitoring spirits are trickling back in. The ancestors, the music does not go together with the ancestors, the sorcerers and the witches of the yesteryears. So they tell them, stay away from the music. It interrupts with our sonar waves. They might say something there about Jesus is Lord, and we are going to drop off the heaven with our floating, swimming, flying blooms. So stay away from music. They may throw in the name of Jesus there, and we'll find ourselves falling off the sky. Now they are coming back. Welcome back, monitoring spirits. We are here now. Tony Silva, a member for over a solid year. This channel is just 14 months old. This guy has been here more than 12 months of those. With people like this, I don't need haters. I am set for life. Oh, black people hate that word. Being set for life? How can you be so sure that you are set for life? Don't you know bad things happen because of the powers of the sorcerers and the witches? They can bewitch you from heaven and tomorrow you are nothing. Unalingana hiyo America, unaona vile wamefanyia Daniel Adongo. You can never be sure. I'm set for life. I am set for life. Set for life. I was set before I was born. I was set before this universe was created. The universe was created as a master plan of me being set for life. Gumu kidogo kueleza African Christians. That is a story for heaven. Tukifika huko mbinguni pengine tutapigania hiyo story huko. For now tunasalimia Miss Fartun. Miss Fartun is an Allahu Akbar, small little Allahu Akbar girl with a Allahu Akbar uniform all the way to here. You cannot see her. I did an arranged marriage for her with another Allahu Akbar guy in America. Walai. Anaitwa Sharif Mustafa Sharif. Harusi tunayo, tunakuja kukula mchele huko Ukambani, huko Umasaini. Ama mkuja hapa America tuende Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Tuseme Allahu Akbar. Top 10 cook. Hey, Watson, I saw a sad story at Dan. Was it concussion and mental issues from drug abuse? Victimhood, my friend, victimhood. Find somewhere in the story where you can peg in your victimhood. It's all we do. It is never our fault. Our blackness dictates that we become perpetual victims because our blackness has an originality from colonialism and occupation and apartheid and slavery. None of those things says we are victorious. We are always victims of something. So if something happens to us, because things happen to us, we are incapable of making things happen. This phone just dropped itself. It just dropped itself. I am not responsible for it. I am a victim. How can you blame me for dropping this phone? I'm a black guy. Things happen to us. Maybe it was predestined to happen. You see, we are helpless. We are victims of slavery. We are victims of apartheid. We are victims of occupation. The white people, superiority, white supremacy things and stuff. We are just, things happen to us. They put drugs in kahawa, and we did not know there was drugs, and that kahawa tastes different from the one of yesterday. Oh my God. They put drugs on us. The CIA! The CIA! You have no idea! The CIA, they just brought drugs on the doorsteps of every black people. I mean, what did you want us to do? The drugs are right there on the table. We just put them in our mouth like the little toddlers that we are. I mean, how can you ask a toddler to be responsible? How can you ask a toddler to be accountable? The drugs are dropped by the CIA. White supremacy. Drop the drugs on our doorsteps. I mean, come on. What were we supposed to do? Yes, it was concussion, it was mental illness, it was drug abuse. All three pillars of the victimhood of the blacks. What is on the other page? What is on the other page? This thing is making too much noise. I am the noisemaker here. What is on the other page? Give me a minute. Let me put on my shanga, Dio Musiniroge. This is my charm. You know, the first time I went to Kenya and I was wearing those things, I was waiting for my mom to ask me what they are. I had an answer, but I think she was too scared of asking me. Because I had an answer, I wanted to tell her, you know, these are the things I wear now, because once I meet with those people from western parts of Kenya, you know, those Jaluos, those Luyas, those Kabas, those Kisis, you know, mila zao ni za tofauti na zetu, na wako na ile kitu anaitaka uchawi. Sasa hizi vitu zinasaidiaga ndio mtu asirogwe. I had a lady answer. She looked at me and she was like, I'm not going there. I am not going there. I'm not going to bring it up. I actually expected her to say, why are you wearing those things? Sisi vitu zinavagwa na wasichana. Kwa nini nazivaa? I was like, you know, ni za kuzuia kulogwa. She never asked me. I was like, what is happening? Why are you not asking? Why are you people here? Why are you people here? Why are you people here? Hey, okay, that's a guy. This is the top 10 cook asking about concussion. Yeah, I read those comments. That's why I had already the answer. Actually, it's on the page of the ICE. New York, something. One of those gutter newspapers carried the story about the deportation. one of those little gutter newspapers. They carried the story about the deportation. Yes. No, it's not that one. I'm sure I have it. And ICE went haywire. This one here. The story had been carried by New York Post. New York Post carried the story. It said ICE removes former NFL player Daniel Ogama Adongo, who has a criminal record for overstaying a visa. This is X. Then the Homeland Security, ICE itself, Jesus Christ. We are living in some weird times in this country. ICE itself requoted the tweet from New York Post with their own craziness. This is what they said. This criminal and former NFL linebacker has been deported after he broke our laws. Daniel Ogama Adongo from Kenya has a criminal record in the US that includes arrest for criminal mischief with damage, felony, intimidation, battery, disorderly conduct. Our communities are safer now that this criminal is out of the country. This is a tweet from the real government. The real government. So, how did we get here? How did we get here? Let me see. Let's say hi to some people first. Ian Jeff is saying, my woman is a masterpiece. There is my woman, there is wannabe, and there is, what is the other song? I made 3 songs back to back yesterday. What is the name of the other song? There is wannabe, there is my woman, and there is, I have them lined up here. You and Me. You and Me is the kind of songs that you would play in a wedding, like a fast dance song, or in what is that thing the modern man is giving a pete officially to a woman? What is that thing called? When the occasion when the modern man is kneeling down to his God, his future God, and is giving her a pete. What is the name of that ceremony? This You and Me would fit perfectly for that occasion. Engagement. The proposal, yeah, engagement. That song, it also has connotations of somebody who has been heartbroken before. It has connotations of somebody who had been married before. It has connotations of somebody who knows that this thing here is not going to work. But nonetheless, they are powering through because that is the thing they do. That is You and Me. Then there is a wannabe. Wannabe is a man's perspective to the song Wannabe by the Spicy Girls. The Spicy Girls, when they are singing that song, they make it look like the woman is the one who is the gatekeeper of relationship. But women can only gatekeep sex. Relationships, gatekeeping belongs to the man. So I switched the song on the Spice Girls, and I made it to be a perspective from a man's point of view, because the man is the one who is the gatekeeper of relationship. So those are the conditions the man should put to a woman. The woman has elevated herself. And that song is from the 90s. I was with a woman, probably, how old is she? Maybe 45. And there was a 21-year-old girl, and there was maybe the boy is also 20 or 21. So we were playing music from our generation. So we say the pop from the 90s. And the Spice Girls song popped up. And that song played the whole time. And I was like, wait a minute. I replayed it. Something is wrong with that song. Why is the woman having control of the relationship? Why is she the one putting the demands of the relationship? And I told them that song should have been sung by a man. I'm going to fix it. We went to eat some barbecue, and when we were eating the barbecue, I made the song. When we got back in the car, I played the song from the perspective of the guy, because the guy is in control of the relationship. So that is the song Wannabe, from the perspective of the guy. Granted, I probably have never heard that song before. Maybe I did, but I did not have these 2 extra brains that just occurred to me after I started drinking coffee. Before I was drinking milk, if you are wondering. Haya. Karibu sana, Mr. Ben, our newest member. Dethroned 254, ASKiQ, rada ya maisha mzee. I don't know what that means. Mzee ni baba yangu. Rono George, Chamge missing. Unajua mnaweza cheza hivi na huyu Rono George akuwe ni yule George wa Ruto. Chako na jina kama hiyo. Allahu Akbar, ina jina yako inakuwa gani? Rono George, George Ruto, George something. I know some things you can do with that free money. Kijana Maluku, sadaka ya 310 imeingia. Thank you so much, Kijana wa Maluku. I'll have to check on that one. You people be like Kijana ya Maluku. Pana kaa hapa kudadia content ya bure. Sasa nimepewa shilingi 2 hapa, nimeanza matusi. Hey, George. You goja hata wengine watume kwanza. Yawa. Haya, tumeni kwanza. Dithron 254. Uliacha kuambiwa uchunge kuku kama wenzako. All right, moving on. Hiyo insult imekataa kuingia. Iko mbali. It will take me 5 minutes to explain that insult. Ndio igie venye nataka. I don't have that time. Iko mbali. Nimeipima nikasema, oh no, that's too much energy. Yes, that thing is called proposal. Mr. Duke of Kiev and Ben, top 10, well, waiting for a great part where there was a white woman involved and she did him dirty. No, she did not. Koja kidogo. Stories ni yangu. Sahi niko bizbaya. Oh, Fortune stopped daydreaming long time ago. You are a woman, Fortune. I don't know what to tell a woman other than to get married to Mr. Allahu Akbar Sharif Mustafa Sharif and give birth to American citizen kids. Ukishindwa na hiyo ni shida yako. Hiyo senye umeibeba ukiwa mtu mzima zaidi ya miaka 15. Hiyo sio shida yangu, hiyo ni shida yako. You do whatever you want to do with your senye. You lilo Allahu Akbar kung fu pada covered woman. Triple M. Why don't people see through the media? For example, they only look Kibe statements of telling people not to see, not any other. Hiyo ni shida yako. Wewe mwenye umefanya hivyo, why are you still talking about it? Why can't you say the positive, objective part of what you have done, not from the negative point of view? Hiyo ni shida yako. Well, top 10. This is your moment. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Top 10 is saying that the woman did him dirty. No, that did not happen. That did not happen at all. At all. We are going to look at the facts. That did not happen at all. No, Wannabe is on Spotify. What are you saying? Mr. Wilson, Wannabe is on Spotify. Wannabe, ASKiQ Watson. I don't know how to use Spotify, so I search Spotify like I am a user. I am a recovering, that's it, on the top. I am a recovering Apple Music guy. It's there at the top. That one there. Where is my finger? The other finger. Is the top resort. Wannabe. This one here. Watch the grandchildren of witchcraft and sorcery start disappearing. Watch the counter at the top.
If you wanna be my woman, come with more than a smile. Beauty catches my attention, but your heart keeps me a while. I've watched pretty turn to pain. I've watched promises fade. So if you're walking beside me, don't let your love be a masquerade. I'm not chasing empty moments. I'm not buying pretty dreams. I'm building something that will last. Tell me, are you built for me?
Allah.
Tell me what your heart is saying. Don't rehearse another line. I can hear the truth between the words every single time. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta understand my soul. Honor all the peace I fought for. Don't leave cracks inside my home. If you wanna be my lover, meet me where my spirit's.
That is the man's perspective. Did you see the count go down? Of the Wannabe song. Now, let's go to, what is his name? Daniel Adongo.
Daniel Adongo, the first Kenyan kucheza in the NFL. Kitu bigi sana mtu wangu. By the way, vile history yake ili break 2013 akiletwa hapa hivi na Indianapolis Colts. Ilikuwa story bigi sana mtu wangu. Yeye ndiye amekuja akafungulia players wengi wa Africa kukuja America through the NFL, National Football League, mtu wangu.
You know what, you got to give the kid credit. I mean, for coming in here and never even putting on a helmet, you know, a year ago, and where he's at today. Again, it's a testament to his work ethic.
Hajaitiza NFL in his life, lakini ile physique yake ilifanya wachukue nini mtu wangu wa risk it all.
I mean, that kid took a huge leap of faith. You got to think about what he gave up to come over here to try to play American football. I mean, he's a superstar doing what he was doing.
So Colts waka risk 2013 ndio kamchukua kampeleka kampika kwa story kubwa mtu wangu. This African rugby player anakuja kucheza NFL. Msee hata ajui NFL ni hajaicheza NFL. Juu uko Kenya, uko nini kwa Africa, NFL iko limited sana. Jamaa kaka mtu wangu lana.
So this guy comes here in 2013. 12 years ago. 13 years ago. This guy is huge. Everybody is interested in this guy. Big time. Big time. I went through multiple photos of the community in Indianapolis, of them looking for every way possible to associate themselves with this guy. Coincidentally, this place here, it is called Jewelry Lady Edie. Edie for Indianapolis. Jewelry Lady Edie. They had invited him there for a photo op of a customized thing. They are calling it, we are so glad we are able to collaborate with Daniel Adongo and Joe Winner in customizing this armor of Robert Mathis. It looks amazing and we couldn't be any more excited. Hashtag Court Nation. They had instantaneously absorbed this guy as one of their own. This idea of black people thinking that white people look at them different, no. That was overridden by the sermon at Mount Sinai by Martin Luther King, when he said his dream is to see a black kid being judged by the content of their character, not their skin color. This guy came brand new. Granted, he went to Strathmore, so he speaks the English of the nose. But everybody can tell he is not one of the niggers. So more than wanting to be associated with an NFL player, the whites wanted to be associated with this guy. They took pictures with this guy, multiple pictures. They invited him to events. They were more than excited to welcome him as a member of their community. Everywhere he went, people post. This is not the photo of the wife. People post with photos, to take photos with this guy. Everywhere. Everywhere. I have unlimited photos here of him. There is another photo where he is advertising something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's something else he's advertising. This is just a regular couple that just wanted to be associated with him. Again, that's not his wife. This one here. Conrad, Indianapolis, is a spa and salon by a guy called Ivan Todd. Why am I changing my hand? This one here. The community rallied around him. Brand new kid from Africa. Never played, never worn a helmet. It's conspicuous when you had it from the white guy because in rugby, they don't wear helmets. So this was a new thing for him. They rallied around him because he was an NFL player, and more so, a non-Black American NFL player. They wanted a piece of him. Then the curse of the black caught up with him. So this idea that his wife, or whatever the woman was, is the one who put him in trouble, that did not happen. That did not happen. That did not happen. The woman faked being crazy to protect him from police trouble. How do we know that? We are going to find out even at the very tail end. He was never charged with any of the allegations. At the very tail end. Let me see. There's a story here by a reporter. Where is she? There's a woman reporter here. Where is she? This one here.
If you've been following the Indianapolis Colts for the last decade, you probably remember a young man named Daniel Adongo. He's a former African rugby star who made headlines back in 2013 after he was recruited to join the Indianapolis Colts, even though he'd never played football at all ever in his life. But Adongo's football career ended only a few years later after he was accused of domestic violence twice. So the NFL conducted an investigation and then suspended Adongo, and he never played in the NFL again. So fast forward a few weeks ago, I was reporting on a different story when I learned that Adongo had actually been detained by ICE at the Miami Correctional Facility here in Indiana, just north of Kokomo. And we found out through the reporting that Adongo has had several mental health struggles in the last decade. He's been arrested several times, including here in Indianapolis and in St. Joseph County. ICE told us that Adongo overstayed his visa back in 2016, and they also cited his previous criminal conviction for a Class A misdemeanor here in Marion County. To learn more about what led up to Adongo's ICE detention, go to indiestar.com. My name is Christine Phillips, and I'm a reporter for the Indianapolis Star.
All right.
If you've been following the Indianapolis Colts,
let's do that. Let's learn more about how he ended up in police trouble. 2015, in October, was the very first time that the police were called. The first publicly reported domestic violence incident involving Daniel Adongo occurred on October 24, 2015. He had stayed in the AFL for 2 years. He came in 2013. October 24, very important. Remember that date, October 24, 2015, 10/24/15. According to the police report, officers responded to a domestic disturbance at the home Adongo shared with a woman. The woman reportedly told police she was afraid of Adongo and did not want to return home. There were no criminal charges filed following that incident. No criminal charges. Whatever had happened, there was no enough evidence to file a criminal charge, even though the woman is the one who had called the police. We are about to learn why that was the case. The second incident was reported on December 10, October 24 to December 10, 2015. That's less than 6 weeks later. The woman text her friend. The woman who was staying with Adongo is the one who texted her friend, and she told her to call police. She is afraid of the guy. Afraid contacted the police after receiving a text message indicating the woman needed help. The text message said, "Help, 911." But the woman did not call the police herself. She called that woman. Her name is actually given. I will find her name a little bit later. Her name is Dawn Monks, not the girlfriend, the friend to the girlfriend. Her name is Dawn Monks. She gets a text message from her girlfriend, who is Adongo's girlfriend, and say, "Help, call 911." The police rushed to the home. They knocked on the door. She refused to answer. The police forced their way to the door. The woman covered herself with a blanket. This story is actually given by the Star of Kenya. The star.co.ke. The woman agreed to speak to police, but kept a blanket completely covering her face and body. Officers said as she tried to adjust the blanket, they noticed she had a black left eye, a large cut on her lip, and marks on her lower wrists. But the woman would not say who lived with her or how she got hurt, and instead she said she caused these marks to herself because she is crazy. She called herself crazy to protect your homeboy because she did not want him to get in trouble. That is the insinuation. If I was going to look at it objectively, I would say, as long as the police are standing at the doorstep of a white woman's door, she does not have to respond to anything. She knows that by her making them come to her, she has done 99% of what she needed to do. So she can back out, knowing all too well that she has already weaponized the police on the black guy. Here is the problem. The girlfriend, Miss Dawn Monks, she went to the police and gave a personal testimony of what her girlfriend, Adongo's boyfriend, had already shared with her. That Adongo had held this woman by the back of the neck into the bathtub when it's full of water. Adongo had kicked open the bathroom door, grabbed the woman by the throat, and held her underwater in the bathtub. He also punched multiple holes on the walls and damaged appliances, the woman's car, furniture, and cell phones. Let's pause there and go to the tweet this week by ICE. What did the tweet say? The tweet by ICE. Remember, this is 2015, December 10. We come to 2026. The tweet by ICE itself the real ice. I can hear somebody say, is that the same ice where you are selling Kenyans? Yes, that same ice. That ice, they were paying me 1,600 to deport Kenyans. There are so many of them that I deported with 1,600. The last time I went to Kenya, I organized them to come to Nyayo Stadium for a welcome home party. The stadium was full of the Kenyans I had deported. You know, I discovered the other day that Dwanzis don't understand irony. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see. You know, those 60-40 people, retards, they don't know they are retarded. So some of the jokes just bypass by them because they don't have it in them to understand a joke. It's the same thing with the Dwanzis. They cannot tell sarcasm. It is so good to continue a rabbit on these 60-40 shiogos. Shiogo is a very dark connotation interpretation of the word retard on Dwanzis. So me saying I gathered thousands of the people I had deported through ICE at Nyayo Stadium, that now, from today on, in the next update of the Holy Bible, that message will be there. Love it. So, 2026, one day ago, ICE is corroborating what the details from 2015 were, the ones reported by the star.co.ke in 2015. The insinuation that this woman held this guy, your homeboy, held this woman, knocked through the door, the bathroom door, grabbed the woman by the neck, and held her underwater in a bathtub, punched holes on the wall, broke the appliances. Appliances are washing machine is an appliance, fridge is an appliance, the cooking range is an appliance, the microwave is an appliance. So those kind of things, those are the appliances. And then, you know, TV is an electronic. That is the divide between appliance and electronics. So he had broken things. He had punched through the holes. He had grabbed the woman by the neck and submerged her in a bathtub. He had, what did the star say? He had damaged the woman's car, furniture, and cell phones. So when now we look at the tweet from the government, the actual government, ICE, this is what it says. Here, I'll fix it in production. You can read it for yourself. Homeland Security. This criminal and former NFL linebacker has been deported after he broke our laws. Daniel Ogama Adongo from Kenya has a criminal record in the US that includes arrest for criminal mischief with damage, felony intimidation, battery, and disorderly conduct. Our communities are safer now that this criminal is out of our country. 2 days ago, 1 day ago, 2026 July. They are now corroborating what had happened 11 years ago. When the woman was asked about those things, she said, no, everything is okay. Two things are happening. she could be protecting the guy, or she knew by activating the police, her job is done and she never has to do anything. And number three, she had already activated her girlfriend, Miss Dawn, to do her bidding. Miss Dawn is the one at the police station giving this story. This is what happened. While Miss Dawn and this woman were at the police station, Daniel Adongo walks to the police station himself. As they are giving this story, he walks in there and says, none of these things these people are saying is true. But the woman had already denied it on his behalf. So there are no charges whatsoever. Even the ones the government is quoting. So the guy is set free. Here is the problem. The police need concrete evidence to file charges. The NFL does not. The NFL does not hold themselves to evidence, proof, before they can take action. And especially in the cases where it involves battery and domestic violence, because the NFL has been in bad light before when they didn't know how to deal with black men acting out of the emotions and involving themselves in domestic violence, and then that case is dragged to the NFL. Multiple cases have happened. And when the NFL at the time tried to step in to protect their subject, it has always backfired on them. So they learned from a long time ago out of many experiences, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's disorderly conduct, whether it's sexual assault cases. Their knee-jerk reaction is to cut that guy off. This is happening when this guy was being reported to have been activated. NFL created a beautiful tweet showing that they have activated the guy right at the nick of when he is catching up with the curse of the blacks. When he came, he was benched. He was put in exercise, in practice, and all these kind of things. 2015, he had been activated. That now he is ready to play. His pay went from 140,000 to $500,000 because he never had a good contract, so he never had good money. But right there, 2015 was the sweet spot where these guys' things are starting to look up. And then, boom, the curse of the blacks catch up with him. As it always does with black people that are indisciplined. Discipline is a curse. Discipline is an insult to black people. Right now, the word discipline in abstract is disturbing you. Forget about anything else. Right now, when I said because of his indiscipline, right now, something happened to your spirit. For colonialism to create a victim, for apartheid to create a victim, for slavery to create a victim, there cannot be discipline. There cannot be discipline because we have to be indisciplined to push back on occupation, to push back on colonization, to push back on slavery, to push back on apartheid. So indiscipline is actually our identity. I am trying to explain the insult, so it makes sense why you are insulted when the word discipline is mentioned. It is counter the nature of blackness to be disciplined, because the history of the black man is that one of slavery, is that one of occupation, is that one of apartheid, is that one of colonization. You cannot counter those things by following the rules. You have to revolt, you have to resist. That's why the entire sub-Saharan Africa, its own history is that one of resistance. That's where they started off. From 1957 all the way to the 80s with Sam Nujoma. Starting with Ghana, 1957, all the way to the 80s of Sam Nujoma in Mozambique. The history that shaped the narrative of the African people is that one of resistance. The best movies ever made about the American nigger is about resistance. You cannot have resistance and discipline at the same time. The driving force of resistance against colonialism is indiscipline. The driving force against apartheid is indiscipline. The driving force against slavery is indiscipline. The driving force against occupation is indiscipline, because somebody else set the rules. That's why I was saying the other day on Keep a Space, black people don't like rule of law. Black people do not like rule of law. Black people do not like law and order. It's counter their nature. I'm trying to explain the insult so that you understand now why you get insulted when the word discipline is put in the context, when you are demanded to be disciplined. One of the people I was with in this song that I was telling you about Wannabe, the 21-year-old was a girl, a black girl. Let me be accurate. Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yes, it's Thursday. From Thursday to Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The four of us spent a lot of time together. She was never on time at any single time. Never. Never. We have multiple things alleged. 10:30, 11:30, 6:15, 5:30, 7:30, 10:15. Those numbers don't mean anything. Those are suggestions. Those are suggestions. She never showed up on time to anything. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, do you people work from an office? They say, yeah, we have an office where we go report and work every day. Does she ever show up in time? You know, me, because I don't know how to speak. So I just ask the question I want to ask, not what I am trying to say is. Those are your problems of what you are trying to say. So I asked the direct question, does she show up to work on time? Yeah, well, we have several situations where that. So even when something is in their favor, indiscipline takes precedence. even when it's self-defeating. Indiscipline takes center stage. How else? I was preparing you now for the real insult. How else can you explain a guy who is the first to be given an opportunity by a multi-billion organization that has made each and every of the numerous players to be dollar millionaires multiple times over? I am slowing down to make you understand what I just said. NFL is a multi-billion dollar company. NFL is richer than majority countries in the world. Everybody that works for an NFL, at the very least, is guaranteed to be a millionaire. Every one of them that touches the ball. Every one of them. I have a client who is a free agent. The last contract he signed, he is the quarterback, the people who throw the ball. It's a football, but he's the only one who throws it. The last contract he signed was $100 million. Free agent. Nobody is sharing that money with him. He's probably what now? 29, 30 at most. Tom Brady. Do you know what Tom Brady is doing right now? Tom Brady is over there in Monaco, racing some futuristic, weird cars in water. He has a team. Look it up. Some you have never heard of it until now. Some weird kind of race of men who find fun in everything. They are finding fun in some kind of cars. I don't even know how to explain it. Look it up. Tom Brady cars, Monaco. Race cars, Monaco. In water. Some kind of boats. There is a virtual truck created by buoys, floaties, where they navigate it and they are watching things on big screen and they are covered, they are just dumping it. It's crazy. Made hundreds of millions in the NFL. He is selling this shoe. Where is that shoe? He is associated with this shoe. Where is that shoe? Where is that shoe? Tom Brady is associated with this shoe. It's called No Bull. When I was in Kenya in March and April, you saw me walking on the treadmill with this shoe. And people are saying, why are you walking with red bottoms on the treadmill? No, this is not a red bottom. I do have red bottoms, a lot of them. Some of them I have not even worn them yet. Probably have 6 pairs of red bottoms. This is a Tom Brady shoe. Post NFL. When I ordered that shoe, they put this in the box. I don't take manufactured stuff for whatever. My name is not Gashao. My name is Jiao. I don't take these kind of things, but that's not the point. When I ordered the Tom Brady shoe, they gave me this as a sample to get me hooked to their product. Because that's a sport shoe. I mean, it's only fair for you to be introduced in things that they say can do this and the other for your body. I don't need them. I don't want them. I'll never use them. I eat enough fruits and vegetables. Plus, come on. I'm closer to dying than living, if you ask the nuances. So why do I need to know that? That is not the story. Everybody who touches an NFL ball is guaranteed 100% precision, 100% outcome to be a millionaire. When I was talking to Professor from Canada, Ogato J, of the Couch Connect, the Couch Connect, this Couch Connect, we were talking about our own Vince Young was signed up by a team, an NFL team up north of Dallas, another country there. I can't remember whether it was Oklahoma or someplace. $86 million, with a huge percentage of that being guaranteed money, whether he drops dead or he gets injured or he does whatever. He was here at UT playing as a quarterback. $86 million, something like that. As a teenager, as a 21 years old. So this guy comes from Kenya. He is a sensation. The first ever African, not black, African to play in the NFL. The first ever. Everybody want to be associated with him. The whole community of white people rallied behind him, invited him to be the face of this spa, to be the face of this jewelry store, to be the face of this other. They'll take pictures with him. They want a piece of his success. And then in discipline, that bad word, that one that makes you angry when you're being told to be disciplined. That one, that thing that you are so agitated listening to me talking about it. Get caught up with him.
Daniel Adongo, the first Kenyan kucheza in the NFL. Kitu bigi sana mtu wangu. By the way, na vile history yake ili break 2013 akiletwa hapa hivi na Indianapolis Colts. Ilikuwa story bigi sana mtu wangu. Yeye ndiye amekuja akafungulia players wengi wa Afrika kukuja America through the NFL, National Football League, mtu wangu.
You know what, you got to give the kid credit, I mean, for coming in here and never even putting on a helmet, you know, a year ago, and where he's at today. Again, it's a testament to his work ethic.
Hajaiteza NFL in his life, lakini ile fiziki yake ilifanya wachukue nini mtu wangu wa risk it all.
I mean, that kid took a huge leap of faith. You got to think about what he gave up to come over here to try to play American football. I mean, he's a superstar doing what he was doing.
So Colts waka risk 2013 ndio wakamchukua akampeleka kampika kwa story kubwa mtu wangu. This African rugby player anakuja kucheza NFL. Mse hata ajui NFL ni hajaicheza NFL. Juu uko Kenya, uko nini kwa Africa, NFL iko limited sana. Jamaa akakaa mtu wangu akalana haraka alafu jamaa unajua yeye ujituma mtu wangu. Kujituma hivyo ndio hiyo amechukuliwa na team, akalipwa pesa, akasign contract yake mtu wangu, akaanza kulipwa pesa yake. 2013 akacheza, 2014 akacheza mtu wangu. So hiyo season inaenda ikanini 2015 ndio huyo anarudi kucheza pia.
Listen to this guy. The last time I was here, I was taking a dig at Kikuyus. The way their language is so petty and so cheap. Their culture is so shallow that even when they are talking, they want somebody else to finish the sentence on their behalf. Akachukuli, mtu mwingine sasa anatakiwa kusema akachukuliwa. Akakuja akakuja hapa. Akaanza kupiga kazi. But because he is by himself, now he has to continually play the character of the other person who naturally in the cheapness of the Kikuyu culture would be the one finishing their sentences. You have had that with the politicians. It is not something that I'm saying it for the first time. You have heard all that Gachieda speaking that in the crowd, that somebody else have to finish the sentence because of the cheapness of the language. So this guy is the truest Kikuyu. I couldn't stop but think about how he has conditioned himself, number one, to always become a part of the Mwadhiriwa. He is a victim of the story he is giving, because that number one gives him the cover to speak about Kenyans and their indiscipline in America, but in a way where he is not speaking about them, like me. When I say these fucking Kenyans in America, he cannot do that because he is afraid of the terrorist group, of their women. So in every story, you hear him bringing himself as the one who is being affected by the indiscipline of the Kenyans. 100% of his stories are about in the discipline of Kenyans. You are just now realizing that. 100% of his stories, 100% of his stories is him telling us about the indiscipline of Kenyans. But for him to be safe from the terrorists of the Kenyan women in America, he has to create himself as a victim of that indiscipline. Every story, I know you're still stuck there. Every story he gives is about the indiscipline of America. Each and every story. If he is not talking about the indiscipline of Kenyans in America, he is not talking. But he packages in a way where he is not looking at them. That's why he keep repeating, mutu wangu, mutu wangu. Kenya tunachomeana. Huku, wajameni, jaribu musiharibu jina. Because now he has to be part of the bad things so that he cannot be blamed of talking ill of Kenyans like George, NJAU, NGA, you will catch it.
Mtu wangu akalana haraka, alafu jamaa, unajua yani ujituma, mtu wangu kujituma hivyo ndio hiyo. Amechukuliwa na team, akalipwa pesa, akasign contract yake, mtu wangu akaanza kulipwa pesa yake. 2013 akacheza, 2014 akacheza, mtu wangu.
You can hear him waiting for somebody else to finish the sentence on him, because that's the Kikuyu speak. But then there is nobody, so he doubles down on the chorus of finishing the sentence. But watch how he packaged himself as one of the victims of the indiscipline of a fellow Kenyan.
Season inaenda ikanini, 2015 ndio huyo anarudi kucheza pia. Lakini mtu wangu, sasa stories zilianzia hapa. Daniel bila alikuja hapa, alianza kudate Mlami. Huyu Mlami sasa wakaanza dome mzungu, dome. Man, ikakuwa siku moja akamuitia makarao December 2015. Wajua jamaa, mtu wangu, jamaa na represent, amefungulia watu wengi njia. Na justify Mkenya wa kwanza kucheza NFL, mtu wangu. That's a big deal, mtu wangu.
So now he has to package the whole of Africa as the losers of the indiscipline of this guy. So that now, hey, I'm not pointing out at Kenyans. Huyu jamaa ametufungulia njia wote, the whole continent, 1.3 billion people of Africa. Me, I'm not blaming him. Me, I'm pointing out that we are losing a big opportunity here. He cannot straightforward say, this guy was indisciplined, and that's why we are talking about him right now.
Deal. Jamaa amezaliwa pale Samia, Mumias. Samia iko wapi? Iko Busia ama Mumias? Hapo mahali hapo, mtu wangu. So, December 2015. Sijui ni nini ilikuwa inafanyika. Lakini saa nyingine mademo wazungu, mtu wangu, ndio kujanga kuangusha athletes weusi.
So, shida ni wazungu. Yeye ako na bibi mzungu. Let me say that one more time. Yeye ako na bibi mzungu. Lakini shida ni mabibi wazungu. Shida ni mabibi wazungu. Wao ndio wanaangushaga athletes wetu. Shida ni. Na sasa when he's saying yeye ndiye anaangusha athletes wetu, but this guy is the first African athlete. So he is counting himself as part of the nigger community. Because ni watu wetu wengine wagani na huyu ndio wa kwanza. So now he is also by association a nigger. And every bad things that happen to victim of colonialism, victim of apartheid, victim of colonization, and more importantly, victims of slavery, it is not them at fault. There is a white mzungu there. So even though this guy is the very first NFL athlete, na ameangushwa na mzungu, yeye hajaangushwa na mzungu wake, amemzalia watoto wazuri sana, yeye hajaangushwa na mzungu wake, but if he talk from that point, then the terrorists come after him. So now he has to include himself in the victimhood. It's a tactic of survival. If you can't be like George, be like Owen.
Busia ama Mumias hapo mahali hapo mtu wangu so December 2015 sijui ni nini ilikuwa inafanyika, lakini saa nyingine mademo wazungu mtu wangu ndio kujanga kuangusha athletes weusi so dema ikapigwa 911 makara kufika hapo mtu wangu anapata dema kuna mabruises nini akaitwa kwenda hapo, anaanza kufile story na nini, dema anasema akamshtaki, kesi kaekwa, lakini hakuna mashtaka ililetwa. Wakijaribu kuangalia hivi kesi iko inconsistent, yani hakuna evidence hakuna evidence. Ni kama udem mzungu alikuwa anataka kuangusha tu nani Adongo mtu wangu. Na hivyo sasa unajua ubaya makarao wameitwa, history kafikia Colts, Indianapolis Colts na unajua sasa imelabeliwa domestic violence mtu wangu, itakutoa kwa mafuta yoyote uko nayo mtu wangu. Imefanya watu wa lose ma contracts, ma job big. So vile walisikia hivyo domestic nini mtu wangu, wakamkata kwa timu, akatolewa hivyo tu bila evidence, bila nini. Hiyo kesi hata haikuwa iendeleaga, na jamaa wetu ndio huyo. Kuanzia hapo mtu wangu sasa jamaa ndio akaanza kuspiral, depression nini, madrugs zikaingia man, story mingi, alafu unajuwezi jua man, juu sangine unapata village nini wana work overtime mtu wangu, mental health na nini jamaa hivyo ndo Daniel.
Bro, this story can only be given in Swahili. So he just insinuated that Adongo wana village witches. Kwa ubali kama amepita. Drugs just telepathically got into his system. The guy was chilling somewhere in a sauna, and the sauna smoke was infused with the drugs and they sipped in his system. He's not responsible of anything. I mean, drugs are put in baby milk and the baby is just suckling a baby bottle, and oh my goodness, that 2-year-old just took drugs. That's how unaccountable a black man is. Things happen to him. The village people, yeah.
Lose ma contracts, ma job big. So vile walisikia hivyo domestic nini mtu wangu, wakamkata kwa timu, akatolewa hivyo tu bila evidence, bila nini. Hiyo kesi hata haikuwa iendeleaga, na jamaa wetu ndio huyo. Kuanzia hapo mtu wangu sasa jamaa ndio akaanza kuspiral, depression nini, madrugs zikaingia man, story mingi, alafu unajuwezi jua man, juu sangine unapata village nini wana work overtime mtu wangu, mental health na nini jamaa hivyo ndo Daniel mtu wangu mazee alikam kuspiro akaspiro until akwa hizo kutoka 2050 kutoka hiyo time mtu wangu, ile time tena tumekuja kumsikia ni 2020 na ndio ile kale ka video mazee akikuwa akikaa mtu hayuko sawa mtu wangu, na kamsia kwa cults, kwa drugs nini, watu wanasema homeless nini,
watu wanasema yeye hawezi sema. Msianze kusema mimi ndio nilisema jamaa amekula drugs. Msianze kusema mimi ndio nilisema jamaa anakaa kama ako kwa cult. Msianze kusema mimi ndio nilisema jamaa anatumia drugs. Watu wanaanza remove the sound on this nonsense. Watu wakaanza kusema, sio mimi. Mimi msiseme mimi naongea vibaya kuhusu Wakenya wako Amerika. Watu wakaanza kusema. That is your guy. Victim of blackness. Hey, akona msokoto zingine spare part hapa juu. Allah. Whoa. I have a client. I was talking about that with who? With Ngudi Juma, maybe. He is starting a camp to train Africans to be recruited into European soccer leagues, whatever the full name is, the football leagues. He's going all over Africa, scouting young men who are talented, putting them somewhere in Belgium, I think. Either Belgium or Holland. Holland, the other name for Holland is what? Netherlands. In another country, I cannot remember which. And the idea is to train them to the level where there will be the next generation of the black people that we saw in the NFL. I mean, in the World Cup, looking like Mbappe and Were. I don't know where Were went. Were is the son of a president of an African country. We saw the black guy that was defended by Trump. He's an African born who lives in London. Well, he's born in America, lived in London, but with both parents from Africa. The future of those players, when this wave we saw retire, this client of mine is preparing that future. So they have a group that they will scout the entire continent of Africa looking for talents to be the future of world soccer. This guy here had the opportunity of being that person. This Daniel here had the opportunity of being that person. The very first African, the very first Kenyan to play in the NFL. His future could have taken that direction where I know where to go and scout for future players in the NFL because I come from rugby world. Have trained in multiple African countries, have played in multiple African countries, have trained in the best of the rugby world down south. And so I'm the most equipped to connect America with the best players to rejuvenate the NFL players with quintessential African rugby level NFL football players. That could have been him. Yes, as Africa Rain is saying, he chose victimhood. He chose victimhood. I was talking to Ikonini. I can't remember whether it was in this. Actually, I went to him only once. So it was this trip, the March and April trip. And he was saying Kenyans are, Ruto was saying the other day that Kenyans are sending these billions of dollars to Kenya from the US, remittances. And I'm like, what is it they do in America? If you listen to that thing, I said, and I am baiting them to come from the shadows and let's have that conversation. They plateau at 0.5. Those were my exact words. They plateau at 0.5. The potential of the greatness of America, they only acquire 0.5% of it. That money, you are gravitating that, you are glorifying that Kenyan said to Kenya in billions of shillings. 0.5 of what could have been. How do we know that? We look at other communities. Vietnamese. Ellis Hill, a Kenyan who lives in LA, he took us on a tour of LA 2023, I think. We went there to see the rugby. Kenyan team was playing there. There was a big tournament from all over the world. Ellis Hill took us on a tour close to where we were staying on Airbnb. And we went through a town, an area of a town in LA that is nothing but Vietnamese. The signages on the walls of the buildings are in Vietnamese. Then in parentheses, they are in English. But the big board is in their language because that is their community. That's the same story, actually. I was telling Professor Ogato on his podcast, or maybe mine that is already running. The potential of Vietnamese, they control the Western seaboard from San Diego all the way to San Francisco. Those fuckers, Kenyans in Washington State, they brought the village of Mochada to Federal Way. I have no idea what Federal Way means or what it is, but I know it looks exactly like ASKiQ countryside. 0.5. The brain power of the fucking Kenyans in America, 0.5. The Vietnamese, the Chinese, the Koreans, they have their own neighborhoods, they have their own empires, they have their own business systems. The entire seaboard from San Diego all the way to the top of the country. In Seattle, that nonsense Kenyans live in. Kenyans, 0.5. Masengenyano, kuonania, fitina, uchawi, sorcery, kuitania polisi, kuripotiana, kusengenyana, mavita za upuzi, za association na manigas. You see them in those stupid makeshift places that they take Samido. If you don't see an American flag, you would think you're in Nairobi, the bad part of Nairobi. That's where they take Samido. They are there swinging their skunky asses fighting in the parking lot, looking like fucking villagers. 0.5. That's it. That's it. Let me know when the insult shift, when the insult gets home, so that I can shift to another insult. So when Mwafrika is saying Kenyans are reported to have sent this much money, that is 0.5 of their potential. Because the Vietnamese are running the country. The Chinese have Chinatowns all over the world. I was telling Professor Ogato, the Italians, at some point, the Italians and the Irish, they were being called dirty when they showed up on the East Coast. There are more white people who eat Italian food than there are Italians to eat Italian food. True, it's also true for the Chinese food. More Americans, white Americans, eat Chinese food more than there are enough Chinese to eat Chinese food. They created communities, they assimilated, they plugged into the ecosystem for greatness. Kenyans, Swahili village. Nonsense. What comes out of that? Conmanship. Hey, and I want somebody to sue me. My name is George NJAU, NGA. Hey, you mentioned the Swahili village in bad light. Conmanship. They are scamming their workers, denying them their pay, their tips. The usual blackness of conmanship and dishonesty is what we hear from those fuckers in DC. Nothing. The curse of the black is like a bad smell of a skunk that never goes away. To separate yourself from that one, the amount of energy you need to separate yourself from the curse of the blacks. Let me know when you are insulted enough. I'll start talking about lilies and sunflowers. The amount of energy you need to activate to separate yourself from the curse of the blacks, it is so much. Daniel Adongo could not afford it. So where my client is scouting the entire talent of the African soccer players to put them in a camp somewhere and prepare them for the future of World Cup and European Premier Leagues, Adongo had the same opportunity. A guy who knows the workings of rugby all the way to the greatest countries where rugby is played. The curse of the blacks cannot allow it. So he ends up looking just like a quintessential American nigger. You go to those federal way. You go to labor weekend of the Kenyans in America in Dallas. If you cannot hear them speak in Swahili, I was about to say accent, but they don't have an accent. They copied the accents of the niggers. So accent is not going to help you there. If you don't hear them speaking in Swahili, you would think this is a Kogamano of the niggers. That's it. 0.5. Right there. I met Big Ted. Let's call him ambassador at the LA consulate. Let's call him ambassador. I met him when he was 3 days in America. They had not even unpacked their luggages. They turned him into one of them. That quick. I met him during that rugby tournament. They had been in America for 3 days. 1, 2, 3 días, no más. 3 days. the congamano of the 0.5, they turned him into one of them. He will be remembered for wearing vitenges and Kenyan flag themed clothes, dancing around in LA. I don't know what they are doing with Chiroba. Is that his name? The elections board guy that was given the same post. I don't know what they are doing, because Chiroba, somebody tell me what his real name is. It probably does not fit the mold of the niggerness of the Kenyans in America. So I don't know what they are doing with him, because the first job of the fucking Kenyans in America is for the terrorist group to recruit the guy directly or the woman attached to the guy and then reduce him to nothingness. Like clockwork. It has worked from that top, all the way to the guy who will come to America 10 years from today. Nothing is going to change. Daniel Adongo would have been the pioneer, the spotter of talent. The spotter of talent. There is this person who is now the spotter of basketball. He's a citizen of Rwanda. I can't remember what's that person's name. Is the spotter, the scout of basketball in America. Arwadis. That could have been Adongo. 13 years from when he landed. By now, we could have seen the infiltration of the African talent, people transitioning from rugby into American football. But no, the curse of the blacks is too much. It's too expensive to avoid. So there we are. So now he's a victim of, if we listen to Owen, he's a victim of village witches, he's a victim of drugs kaingia. I don't know what language he used, because he cannot say he took drugs. That one would get him cancelled. Speaking straight that this guy took drugs, hey, the Kenyan community would come after him. Why are you painting us in bad light? No. My drug dizoizo, my village witches, hakusema witches, because majority of Kenyans in America have allegiance. They are grandchildren of the witches and the sorcerers in the village. So he cannot even mention that name. Can we hear what he said in his own words? Me, I have nothing but time.
So December 2015 sijui ni nini ilikuwa inafanyika, lakini saa ingine mademu wazungu mtu wangu ndio huku janga kuangusha athletes weusi. So dema ikapigwa 911. Makara kufika hapo mtu wangu anapata dema kuna mabruises nini, akaitwa kwenda hapo, anaanza kufile story na nini. Dema anasema akamshtaki, kesi ikaekwa, lakini hakuna mashtaka ililetwa. Wakijaribu kuangalia hivi kesi iko inconsistent, yani hakuna evidence. Hakuna evidence. Ni kama udem mzungu alikuwa anataka kuangusha tu nani Adongo mtu wangu. Na hivyo sasa unajua ubaya makarao wameitwa, history kafikia Colts, Indianapolis Colts now unajua sasa imelabeliwa domestic violence mtu wangu, itakutoa kwa mafuta yoyote uko nayo mtu wangu. Imefanya watu wa lose ma contracts, ma job bigi. So vile walisikia hivyo domestic nini mtu wangu, wakamkata kwa timu, akatolewa hivyo tu bila evidence, bila nini. Hiyo kesi hata haikuwa iendeleaga, na jamaa wetu ndio huyo. Kwanza hapo mtu wangu sasa jamaa ndio akaanza kuspiral, depression nini.
You see, for him to be safe from the terrorist group, he has to identify with him that alitolewa bila evidence. Hivyo ndivyo jamaa wetu alitolewa. Just an innocent toddler who just picked the wrong bottle of milk and put it in his mouth. The bottle was laced with poison. How could a small girl boy know that there was poison in the bottle of milk? That is the accountability level of the blackness.
Kwanzia hapo mtu wangu sasa jamaa ndio akaanza kuspiral. Depression nini? Madrugs zikaingia. Ikuwa iendeleaga.
Kama mvua.
Na jamaa wetu
kama zige.
Mtu wangu itakutoa kwa mafuta yoyote uko nayo mtu wangu. Imefanya watu wa lose ma contracts, ma job bigi. So vile walisikia hivyo domestic nini mtu wangu wakamkata kwa timu. Akatolewa hivyo tu. Bila evidence, bila nini. Hiyo kesi hata ikuwa iendeleaga.
Imagine.
Na jamaa wetu ndio huyo. Kwanzia hapo mtu wangu sasa jamaa ndio akaanza kuspiral. Depression nini? Madrugs zikaingia. Man, story mingi alafu unajuwezi jua man. Juu sangine unapata village nini wana overtime mtu wangu. Mental health na nini jamaa. Hivyo ndo Daniel mtu wangu mazee alikamkuspiral. Akaspiral until akwa hizo kutoka 2050 kutoka hiyo time mtu wangu. Ile time tena tumekuja kumsikia ni 2020. Na ndio ile kale ka video mazee akikaa mtu haiko sawa mtu wangu. Na kamsia kwa macult.
Hapo ndio tulikuwa. So why did the NFL cut him loose? Hawakuwa na kesi. You see, jamaa ameonewa. Madrugs kaanza kuingia, like, I mean, you never predict when the locusts are going to invade. You never know when there is going to be a hailstorm. You cannot tell when there is going to be flash floods. If you told if your drugs ziliingia mtu wangu. Kukaa kidogo drug hizo zikaingia. So let me show you the events that led him to be fired by NFL. Why are people so behaved today? I can't find anybody to block. Why are you being so nice? Why are you pretending to be nice? The village people. The village people working overtime. Victimhood, bro. Packaging yourself. Things happen to you. Blaming witches. Yes. All right. This is where I want to go. This is Mustafa Sherif. For those who don't know, Mustafa Sherif and that other little girl who was here earlier, the Allahu Akbar skinny little thing, dressed in Allahu Akbar uniform. I am the one who joined them in holy matrimony of the Allahu Akbar religion. Mustafa Sharif obviously is an Allahu Akbar. This girl is from Kajiado. She is a Kung Fu Panda wearing ninja. I connected them together. So because Mustafa Sharif is not sure how long this relationship is going to stay, because Mustafa Sharif is in Columbus, Ohio. So he knows how fickle American relationships are. So he does not pay me my FIDA's fee in full. He pays me poquito. So now he's sending me $5. Mr. Mutuwangu should be honest enough and admit that Adongo thought the Kenyan culture of bogey works in the US. It does not. It does not. When reality checks in, it does not tell you eat a bogey. No. Real life does not tell you to eat a bogey. Unaweza payuka huko ukisema uko na bogi yako, bogi yako. When reality checks in, no bogi required, bro. Real life is real. Real life is real. Allah, I found somebody to block. ASKiQ, wazungu walikuja 8,000 years ago and black genes have been here since 300 years ago. That's a good statement in abstract. Then akaongeza, rudi nyumbani. I'll let you know when I get there. Don't call me, I'll call you. For now, nikoje JKIA. Mimi, I don't deal with bad energy. Mimi sio wenu. Washington's Seattle, aka Muchava. You are right about that, Mr. Mustafa Sharif. Russians have their towns in Illinois. What are you saying, bro? The Polish are the ones that have occupied the politics of Chicago for decades. Decades, the Polish. People from Pope John Paul II, Polish people, they are the ones that control Chicago. Even when Chicago, especially when Chicago was an industrialized city of steel mills, it was being controlled by the Polish. Chances are, Bragogio was his name, that corrupt governor when Obama was senator, the US senator from Chicago. Chances are that Bragogio guy is Polish. They control the politics of Chicago. Is it okay to hate my own people? No, you are hating yourself. You are hating yourself. I told the same thing to Mwaf, Dethrone 254. Mwaf tried that fucking shit on me. Well, I don't know. He had not done enough study on me. So he said that I have self-hate because I speak about the ills of the black people in a way that is different from how Owen here is saying. Owen is speaking ill about black people, but he has to package himself as one of them. Me, I point it from a vantage point of discipline, of separation. Maybe these are two things now you need to run with. George said he is disciplined than the blacks. George said he has separated himself from the blacks. Let me give you more material to run with. I speak about the ills of the blacks from the point of view of discipline and separation. Because when you are mired in that guacamole of the niggerness, you are going to be just like them. You are going to have allegiance to poverty, misery, suffering, mediocrity. And so when anybody who looks like you speak about that, then you call it self-hate. But if we examine self-hate, I'm going to repeat word by word of what I told Mwaf. Self-hate is when you do not love yourself good enough to want the best things in life. So you live in a pipeline and you don't see anything wrong with being in a pipeline. You throw trash outside the door, not over there, right here. You go and buy gumboots so that you can wade through sewage and mud and trash and murkiness right in front of your door. That right there is self-hate. You don't love yourself enough to want best things in life. Those things, by the way, are promised to you by your African Christian God in the afterlife. Because the 0.5 brain power of the black man, 66 IQ count, does not have the capability of building a heaven down here. Everybody else has. Japan has the best heaven here on the streets of Kyoto and Nagasaki. The Koreans have the best heaven in Seoul. The Americans, most of you got exposed to the heaven of America, speaking with bias and extreme prejudice during the World Cup. The Europeans could not get enough of the heaven that America has created for themselves in America. The Europeans probably have the oldest heaven here on earth. Chinese, day and night, are creating a heaven in every province, in every area they occupy, including Taiwan in the equation. Here on earth, the Allahu Akbar guy is importing slave labor from all over sub-Saharan Africa, Zimbabweans, Kenyans, Ugandans, to go help them accelerate the pace of building a heaven in all of the Allahu Akbar desert world. We, in our lifetime, in the last 30 years, we have watched them build a heaven here on earth. The black guy, yet we could be nguni. So yes, you don't know what self-love is because you are guilted into self-hate by the bogey, the association. So the moment you want to build a heaven down here, two things happen. You have survivor remorse. There's a psychological term for it. And then your fellow blacks who share the curse of the blacks, of the hell and the self-hate, they drag you down. There's nobody else who is ever going to tell you those things. So this is your moment for you to open your eyes. Everybody else is going to create some beautiful words to say it to what they want to say, but they don't want to anger you, so they are going to say it nicely. I don't know how to do that, probably because I did not go to school. A good point on your part. So you cannot have good things because you hate yourself. And you live amongst the people who equally hate themselves. So if you attempt to get yourself from this hell that you have created for yourself, your fellow men drag you down. So me, I talk about the blackness from the point of view of discipline and separation. That's what I was trying to explain the whole time. Imeingia mabado. If I knew some good English, I would have said it in English. But I don't know some good English. You have to deal with that one, the way I said it. Sheriff Mustafa Sharif, Mathias Kiwanuka, a first-generation American with Ugandan roots, played with Adongo in the NFL, is now a talent spotter for African athletes. I have never heard of that human being. But I knew in my little brain that that is something that can happen. That is a product waiting to be monetized. I knew it. Mathias Kiwanuka a first-generation American with Ugandan roots, played with Adongo in the NFL and is now a talent spotter for the African athletes. $5 from Mustafa Sharif. I'm trying to package an insult. Man, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Mr. Mutu wangu anasema hakuwa na evidence kwa karatasi. Okay, so that is where we were. Thank you. Thank you, Mustafa Sharif, for bringing back to where we are. What is nini in English? Careful speak. Biting your tongue when you're speaking, because there is so many voices in your head and you are double checking with all of them so that you do not agitate the wrong person, and then they cancel you. They start telling you about your secrets. They start throwing around your mugshots of having killed your wife. The amount of money I have made with that nonsense, it's too sweet to let it go. That is my story now. I'll propagate that story until you are white Jesus come back. That is my story now. You watch me give it better than you did, because there is a monetary value to it. For me, you were led by prejudice. You thought there is something for me to run away from. You will never see my back. Let me say that again so that somebody does not think I misspoke. You will never see my back. I don't rate you enough for me to run away from you. Whoever you are, I don't care who you are, put your name on that list. I don't rate you enough to run away from you. Umbwa wewe. Odanga is a dick-driven motherfucker. Puny. You borrow $1 million contract and then you fuck it up. I mean, what else do you expect from the Curse of the Blacks? Do you people know the kind of stories I know about Kenyans in America? I will never say them because I respect the people who gave me those stories. And it is not my story to give. But the way Kenyans in America fuck shit up need to be studied. Even me calling it Curse of the Blacks is not enough to explain it. How? How is that a thing? Wait a minute. Was there not a guy on Ikonini couch talking about how Kenyans misread each other so that they can get in police trouble? I was there a few months ago. But mine, because it came with arrogance and separation from the victimhood and with discipline, and I'm speaking from the outside looking in, mine rubbed you the wrong way. But was there not a Kenyan there who said how they trick somebody to go get some more drinks? And then when he goes, they call the police and say, there is a guy with a Toyota Corolla, mostly what they drive, or an Altima, and he is driving drunk, and he does not have papers. You are sitting in the same loserdom group. These groupings of victimhood, these groupings of mediocrity that Kenyans come and congregate around. And in there, in the murkiness of the bottom of the barrel, nyumba ya nguruwe, ya matope na mavi ya nguruwe, even in that bottom, you find a way to push somebody lower than where you are. What? That shit needs to be studied. It needs to be studied. Some young guy sat on Ikonini show and narrated that story. Some other guy, there's a video circulating, giving exactly the same kind of story of how they trick each other into getting in police trouble. I am the bad guy for looking at that taka-taka, one more time, for looking at that taka-taka and saying, I want none of that. Sometimes I have to repeat myself so that you don't think I misspoke. Hey, Georgia Rita. No, nimerudia. Kenyans in America as a group are taka-taka. I know individuals, but when you look at them in a group, taka-taka. When you hear their stories they give without my hate and prejudice, taka-taka stories. When they come in the news, because a military guy in Killeen married to a military woman in Killeen, they go to a Kenyan party's house and the wife get fucked in the party, literal fucking in the party by a fellow Kenyan inside the mortar and brick of the house where they're having a party with Kenyans. Comes home and shoot the woman to death. That's when we hear about the stories. Taka, taka. Taka, taka. Taka, taka. When they speak honestly, the only thing they talk about, taka, taka. My nephew, when he was here, in one of those, I put him on the phone the last time I was here. Labor Day weekend, it happens in Dallas. All these fucking losers, they drive for 3 hours from Houston, 2 hours from Austin, coming south from the northern states and the eastern states and the southern and the western states. They come and congregate as a Kogomano La Taka Taka in Dallas. I put my nephew on the phone here last time I was sitting on this seat. He took my BMW 750 Li, a long wheelbase, black, beautiful. This one here. Let me show you. I have a song by it. It's called Younger, Not Older. This one here. From this song. Younger, not older. Date younger women. There's a young woman there. He drove this car to Dallas, to that Kongamano La Taka Taka. Kenyans in America, Labor Day, Dallas. They started fighting each other. Those niggers that can speak Swahili, niggers that are born in Kenya, they started fighting, started rushing to their cars and picking up guns. Literal niggers. Taka, taka. Rod Bragojevic. He is Serbian. Those are the people who rule the Midwest, the Polish. There's a huge history of that part of the world, the people who settled there long time ago. They are part of the people who industrialized the Midwest. Thank you so much, Mustafa, with that information. And an extra $2. Hii deni ya mahari utaipa tu pole pole, si ndio? Huwezi nitumia hiyo pesa safari moja nijisaidie nayo. See you Tony Silva, discipline is an insult to the blacks, 100%. You know how many people are insulted right now? Do you know how many people have subscribed and unsubscribed? You know what they call typing and deleting? Because this message is rubbing them the wrong way. They don't know what to do with it. This guy is saying things that should not be said. They are truth, but why are you the one saying them? Who died and made you the prefect of the niggers? I was about to show you how this guy got fired by the NFL. One moment. Who is that person calling himself Arvin Mwati? Arvin Mwati. This show is over until I get Arvin Mwati. You people can go back to whatever you are doing. I'll let you know when I get Arvin Mwati. There is a beautiful video I made the other day and I posted it everywhere. And I said, the title of the video is George, I do not need you. I know, it sounds like there is a mistake to that sentence. George, I do not need you. So Arvin Mwati, why are you here? Why can't you say, George, I do not need you? When I tell you this show has ended until I find Arvin Mwati, you people think I'm kidding. Ah, there we go. Found him. All right, now the show can continue. I've sent him to hell. All right. Ryu Michael saying, I made a tweet saying this dude made it to the greatest country on planet Earth, but the curse of the blacks couldn't let him have it. There's a story you wanted to give about that tweet. You are about to tell us what happened when the fellow blacks saw you saying that about a fellow black. Did they say you have self-hate? You are not sharing in the victimhood? All right. Now, the NFL, because they have a history of getting things wrong when they defend black players, they learned through their mistakes and experience on how to cut loose those people the moment there is a rumor of something that is associated with domestic violence, something that is associated with social delinquencies, something that is associated with sexual assault cases. Delinquencies could be something as simple as an NFL player riding a motorcycle without a helmet. I remember maybe 2006, because I know it's before my son was born. There's a team from the Midwest that had won the Super Bowl at the time. And one of their players, a guy with big flowing hair, the guys who have the cheese as their trademark, That NFL team, they had won the Super Bowl at the time. Maybe 2006, around that time. Because I know my son was not born. And that guy was caught. There was a photo video of him riding a motorcycle without a helmet. He got in trouble with the NFL. Because the NFL doesn't want to be involved in the misconduct. And that guy is not even black. Somebody will find his name. They don't want to be involved with the indiscipline of their employees. Millionaires. People who are getting paid hundreds of millions and go out there and act like niggers. They cut them loose very quickly. Michael Vick, the best NFL quarterback that never was. He would have been bigger than Tom Brady. He started dogfighting, and the FBI was set on him. Cut him loose. He went to prison. There was another guy with a Spanish name, with a Latino name, who was ordering hits from prison. So, 2015, December 10, is the second phone call by this lady called Dawn, the girlfriend to Daniel Adongo's girlfriend. She calls the police and says, my girlfriend just sent me a text message that says, help, 911. Can you please go to her house and do a welfare check? They go to the house. She refused to open the door. The girlfriend now. The girlfriend to Adongo. She refused to open the door. The police force their way through the door. She comes to the door, agreed to talk to the police, but she covers her face with a blanket. When she was adjusting her blanket, they noticed she had a red eye, a black eye. They noticed that she had injuries on her lower wrist. Then she turned around and said, oh no, I caused this on myself because I am stupid. She protected the indefeasible wannabe nigger, Daniel Adongo. The girlfriend marched to the police. Not the girlfriend. The girlfriend to the girlfriend, Miss Dawn. She went to the police and said, I have talked to my girlfriend, and she has said that this guy broke into the bathroom, grabbed his girlfriend by the neck, and submerged his head in the bathtub. Knocked several holes on the wall, destroyed appliances, destroyed his car, her car, destroyed her phone. That's what now we learned earlier, that the government, ICE, put as the rap sheet of why this guy was deported. But why deport him now, 2026, 13 years later? That's where we are now. The first incident happened in October 24. The second incident happened December 10, 2015. The second one is the one now the NFL is hearing about it for the first time. The moment they heard about those incidents, those allegations, they cut him loose immediately, because of the reasons I just told you. immediately. Immediately. The police could not have enough evidence to charge him with anything because the woman refused to collaborate with the police. And she was the held witness. She is the potential victim. So there were no charges filed. But why is he deported? This is why. When they imported him from Florida, not from Florida, from South Africa. I'm thinking about the South. The South of America is Florida. The South of South Africa. When the NFL imported him from South Africa, where he was playing rugby, to come play American football, the visa category he qualifies for is called P1A. A means he is the beneficiary of the P1 category visa. That P category is given to athletes who have a talent and have been accepted to be sponsored by an organization like the NFL in the area of sportsmanship. P1A. So 2015, December 10, the NFL hears about the second incidence of battery, criminal mischief, property damage of the car, the appliances, the walls of the house, the vehicle, and the cell phone. They cut him loose. The P1 visa is sponsored by NFL. Another visa that is sponsored by an employer is H1B. The difference between H1B and P1A is H1B, if you add a relationship with this employer, you have a grace period over time for you to look for another employer to sponsor the continuation of the H1B. In P1A, you cannot transfer it to another sponsor. So the moment NFL cut him loose, that visa ended. December 10, 2015. So 2016, he was in America illegally because he had already overstayed his visa. That's what the government is saying. Let's read that tweet by the real government one more time. It's scary that ICE tweeted the story about this guy. ICE is saying, this criminal and former NFL linebacker has been deported after he broke our laws. Daniel Ogama Adongo from Kenya has criminal record in the US that includes arrests for criminal mischief with damage, felony intimidation of the girlfriend, battery, the bruises on the woman, and disorderly conduct. Our communities are safer now that this criminal is out of our country. Expired visa, because the moment NFL vacated the sponsorship of the P1 visa, that visa no longer existed. So 2016 to 2026, for 10 years, this guy was out of status. That is what they used against him. That's simple. So when Owen is talking about how he spiraled into drug use, and then in 2020, we see a video of him acting like a traditional nigger, he was already out of status. So he must have done something to be arrested, for the flag to be raised by the ICE withholding of immigrants, for them to discover that his visa had expired. So this is your guy. So when he's landing out of Kenya, that's out of an airplane from America, that's how your guy looks like. From this. From this. It would be almost impossible to give the same story of anybody else other than a black person. I'm looking for insults to Dunga you with this uneasiness that you have with reality and truth and facts. It is almost impossible to give this story of self-destruction if the character was not that. Almost impossible. How can you explain it? How can you explain it? Make sure all the nudes are not in this place. Oh yeah, the nudes are not here.
From Kenyan rugby star to NFL hopeful, Daniel Adongo's story has ended in exile. The former Colts player was deported to Kenya this June after years of turmoil. Legal troubles and domestic violence charges marked his rapid post-NFL decline. Detained under the Laken Riley Act, he faced claims of psychosis and head trauma. His case now sparks a debate on athlete safety versus strict federal enforcement. Follow and share Azad TV. Help.
Every news organization reported this story. This is USA Today. It was so widespread. There was a Spanish channel that reported the story. You could not miss it. This one here. Mi no hablo español, no le leer escribir español, no comprende que diga de posta, but it's in Spanish. Nothing but the opposite of discipline. What he's displaying there is discipline. The final results is the opposite of that. That is the story you don't want to hear. That is the reality. You as black, with the history of colonialism, history of occupation, history of apartheid, history of slavery. It cannot be your person. It can never be your responsibility. Your history dictates that you are indisciplined. You have never looked at it like that until this Kikuyu Shrabin guy is the one pointing it out to you. You don't know what to do with that information. Your history is rooted in the discipline. Your history is rooted in indiscipline. It's your nature. It's your learned status quo. When your parents are raising you, you hear 1,000 no's before you hear one yes. You hear 5,000 negative statements towards you before you hear one affirmation. You are the adult now. You are doing that to your children right now. Don't do this, don't do the other, don't do this, don't do the other. Wewe unakuwaga aje? Shida yako ni gani? Unakuwaga na shida gani? I saw a video the other day. I could not believe it. Maybe I'm not going to find it in a hurry. I saw another video the other day. Went through multiple of the videos, and that is her content. There is nothing to see here. I'm not going to fight it right now. Is a woman raising a son and a daughter, obviously a single mother. Obviously a single mother. Let me see if I can find it quick. Obviously a single mother. And the language is the same. If you have had one of them, you have had all of them. Man, I wish I can find it. Aha, this one here. No, this is not it. This is not it. Ah, man. Maybe it's on another phone. And it looks like jokes. If I find it, at the end of this conversation about that woman, I am going to be the problem. So let me preempt that. I am going to be the problem. I know that. Shida ni mimi. Let me see if I can find it in. There's a guy who sends me a lot of these things on. Wewe kaa ukijua nikiipata shida ni mimi. Whatever it is. This boy was sent to the market, to the market to buy sukuma wiki for 50 shillings. He came home with sukuma wiki.
Aikariri nyeni mambo yake hizo vitu zote na huku ndani. Aikariri take. Ni ucio. Nikiwaitara nduko huo gai. Nyeni ciothe ni cia kiathini. Kagura cendia cigana? 100. Teigana kogurukaga we. Ndio kwa nyeni cia 50. Nimesikia 50. 50 zo wake wero atia. Spinach za 50 na madara za 50. Ni ukuria ciothe. Mie ngukwirite nyeni cia 50. Riu nyeni cigana tura nakula kesho. Tukula kesho na nani? Na wewe. Na wewe na nani? Unasifanya sana wewe. Tarehe nyeni cigana albini mashuari. Umelipa? Wale na timu yako? Kama kaduko serious by the way. Unajua because watu walikuwa wanasema ati nakuoneanga. Nakuoneanga na nini taru thesi uko na ndakuonera we. Ni uko na ndakuonera su nakutuma nyeni za ndakwira ciake. 50. Ni ndio unaona kanwa kako. Ni ndio unaona kanwa kako we. Ndio unaona kanwa kako. Unasema hivyo? Acha. Kama nyeni zio ya dini manesi yake. Mama maliza kupeleka vitu na uko ndani. Mama wagura nyeni zio yake ya vidi. Hizi kile mnyoro tu basi peke fridge turuge isi deri. No kile na igwari ole.
By the time you hear one positive attribute, you have had 5,000 negative attributes. In the Kikuyu, you never needed to understand Kikuyu to hear what is going on. The first thing when she realized that boy bought sukuma wiki worth Kenya 100 shillings was, kwani wewe unakuaga wazimu. But I preempted by saying I'm the problem. You see nothing wrong because this is you. Not you as a child. This is how you are raising your own child. You see, I knew I was the problem. So we never hear affirmations. So the visa was deactivated, the P1A visa. That means for 10 years, he was out of status, which is now where we were with the careful speaking guy, Mr. Watuetu, Mutuangu, saying he spiraled into drugs zikatokea, like locust. I mean, I just looked outside and started hailing. Drugs zikatokea. No accountability, no responsibility. You are black. Your job is to package yourself as a victim. Things happen to you. Oh, somebody found the name of the person who is a scout in Rwanda. I had seen it somewhere. If you had put it in a super chat, I would have found it quicker. Somebody knew the person I was talking about. I'm not going to find it. But those were the potentials. That's what that guy could have become. It's too much to ask of a black guy. Discipline? That's too expensive. How can you be disciplined and be a victim of colonialism? How can you be disciplined and be a victim of slavery at the same time? How can you be disciplined and be a victim of white supremacy at the same time? Pick and choose. Victimhood every day. I'm black. Not me. Make sure that the universe doesn't get the wrong message. Not me. You. Nate Ament, the Rwandese NBA player. They are the scout for the future of basketball in America from Rwanda. That could have been this guy. Well, Mustafa told us that there is a Ugandan who is now doing that because as I had expected, there was an opportunity there. Mathias Kiwanuka. So the visa became inactive and he was immediately out of status. So unlike the H-1B visa, the P1 visa, you cannot transfer it to another sponsor. So the moment NFL vacated the sponsorship, now the guy is here illegally. So they were just waiting for him to show up in any of the jails. And once they realize he is a foreigner, it doesn't matter what he did. Because the last charge here by the government, it sounds like it's something he did within the decade that is not connected with the girlfriend. So that is what now they use against him and say, oh, if that guy is arrested, just a petty thing, can be driving with a busted tail light. But the moment they realize you are an immigrant, then they give you over, they hold you. It's called immigration hold. They cannot give you the bail until immigration checks if there is something about you. So when they checked it about him and forget about the wife or the girlfriend did not file charges, but NFL vacated the P1 visa. So this guy now is out of status. That is enough to transfer him to a facility in Indianapolis. They are calling Miami immigration hold, not Miami, over there. This story here. He's a local woman giving the story in her own words about how things turned out for your homeboy.
You've been following the Indianapolis Colts for the last decade. You probably remember a young man named Daniel Adongo. He's a former African rugby star who made headlines back in 2013 after he was recruited to join the Indianapolis Colts, even though he'd never played football at all ever in his life. But Adongo's football career ended only a few years later after he was accused of domestic violence twice. So the NFL conducted an investigation and then suspended Adongo, and he never played in the NFL again. So fast forward a few weeks ago, I was reporting on a different story when I learned that Adongo had actually been detained by ICE at the Miami Correctional Facility here in Indiana, just north of Kokomo. And we found out through the reporting that Adongo has had several mental health struggles in the last decade. He's been arrested several times, including here in Indianapolis and in St. Joseph County. ICE told us that Adongo overstayed his visa back in 2016, and they also cited his previous criminal conviction for a Class A misdemeanor here in Marion County. To learn more about what led
Overstayed his visa from 2016 because NFL vacated the T1 visa that they had sponsored him on to bring him from South Africa to America to become an instant potential millionaire. The blackness got in the way. That is the life story of Simon McCorday. There's somebody who said something. I posted something about discipline the other day on X, and somebody responded in a comment and said, "Discipline keeps a man alive." I wish those were my words. I would be rubbing them on your nose. I'm giving kudos to the person who came up with that simple sentence. Simple sentence. Discipline keeps a man alive. If you're not disciplined, your career dies. If you're not disciplined, for those who are married, your marriage dies. If you're not disciplined, your health takes a hit. If you're not disciplined, you get in trouble with the law. You are not disciplined. You find yourself with the mongekis, the need to belong in a congregation of losers. I have a song about that. It's called Outgrow Your Circle. The need to belong. I don't know what that is because I've never had a need to belong. I see it in people and I see how it destroys their potential, their greatness, and bring them to this smallness of a collection of that group. Because you are sum total of the people you associate yourself with. That term is never used to glorify the greatness of the people you associate yourself with. That term oftentimes is used to demonstrate how you can become a loser by hanging out with losers. These taka Kenyans in America, they miss the boat because of wanting to belong to that 0.5 maximum capacity of the groupings of the Kenyans in America that they have the need to belong to. I don't know what that thing is because I've never been in it, ever in my life. Ever. I have no idea how it is like to need to belong. To drink alcohol because You are in a group of people drinking alcohol. To smoke marijuana because you're in a group of people passing around the marijuana. You never needed to drink. You never needed to smoke. You never needed to do the line. But you are in the conglomerate of the people doing it, and you need to be wrong. 100% of you. 100% of you. Your first drug use was because you needed to belong. Your first puff of marijuana was because you needed to belong. Even something as simple as taking the first puff of regular cigarette is because you needed to belong. Your first sip of alcohol is because you needed to belong. I have no idea how that is, but everywhere I look, I see it. You see, me, I cannot speak like Owen. Like I am part of that. Me, I'm not gonna sit around in a corner in a getate and we hold hands in a AA meeting. Hi, my name is George NGA, and I'm an alcoholic. I don't know how to do that. So yeah, it comes out the way I want it to come out. This is intentional. Indiscipline. Somebody who would drink alcohol and get behind the wheel. I don't get it. I don't know. I love the catastrophic effect of it when I see it happen, but I cannot consume that information. In Kenya, they even have a saying, gari najua nyumbani itajipereka. The need to belong oftentimes comes with indiscipline. That's where we are right now. The guy who could have been the greatest name in the NFL, the other than nigger, black guy in the NFL, bringing all the talents from across the continent of Africa to play this game that has the 100% chance of making you $1 millionaire. But I'm the problem for not knowing how to speak like Owen, for not knowing how to package myself as a victim of the situation. Mtu wangu. Mtu wangu. That's the head of the story. Anything else? So now, believe it or not, the guy who showed up looking like this, information on my phone. The guy who showed up looking like this, I have a very weak stomach. I can feel my stomach wanting to throw up. Is going to show up in Kenya. Well, he already showed up in Kenya. He showed up in Kenya this week, looking like that. The main ingredient that enabled the transformation from this to this, the main ingredient, like the only thing you can take away and not have these results, discipline. The bad word among us black people, discipline is an insult to black people. That's it. There is no other pathway that led to that. Indiscipline.
I mean, number one, they can expect me to go out there and wreak havoc. That's one thing that no doubt I'm going to go out and do this year, on the field. Preseason games, practice, it starts here at practice. That's the main thing I'm going to do. And, coaches emphasize, make plays, do your job, knowing my job. If I know my job, then I can make plays. You know what? You got to give the kid credit. I mean, for coming in here and never even putting on a helmet, a year ago, and where he's at today. Again, it's a testament to his work ethic, and I mean, that kid took a huge leap of faith. You got to think about what he gave up to come over here to try to play American football. I mean, he's a superstar doing what he was doing, and he's come light years.
Discipline. I told this thing to Kingori the other day, in the second time I went to his show. Then he looked at me like I'm crazy. I said, the black man is the person who is endowed with the greatest blessings of capabilities and abilities. But they can never show up because he's not disciplined until there is a non-black coach behind that talent. That's when it shows up, whether it's in sports or it's in music. That's when it shows up. Again, that's an insult to black people. Stay victims, my friend. Stay victims. I am done. The people scared of music. Now you can leave. Thank you so much for being here. Run away before you contaminate your ancestors with the ingenuity of modern ways of making music. Hello? Run away. Run away. Don't get in trouble with your ancestors on my account. What am I looking for? You and Me. You and Me is a song that you would play in on a wedding night. You and Me is a song you would play in an engagement party. You and Me is a song you would play when you are giving love a second chance. The words there encompasses all that. Giving love a second chance. It's you and me from here on. As we finish, the ingenious of ASKiQ Watson. I'm delaying it for the people to disappear. Here comes the outro of today's show. You and Me.
Come a little closer. Let me tell you where my heart lives. I walked this road long enough to know the real from the disguise. I've seen sweet words lose their meaning. I've seen truth hiding in quiet eyes. Love ain't written in first impressions or the pictures that people see. It's born in the silent moments when it's just you and me. I'm not looking for an angel. I'm not reaching for the stars. Just a woman who brings me peace instead of another broken heart. Beauty may catch my wandering eyes, but character holds my soul. Passion can start a fire. Only love can make it whole. If you wanna be my woman, know what love is made of. kisses in the moonlight, more than saying that's enough. If you wanna be my woman, walk beside me hand in hand. Bring your peace, I'll bring my purpose. Together we'll forever stand. I don't need another stranger applauding when the sun shines bright. I need someone who'll still be smiling.
Thank you so much,
when we can't see through the night.
And Tony Silva for those.
There'll be days we won't agree.
For them pesos.
That's the rhythm love must learn. But respect should never leave us. Even when the tempers burn. Let's build something worth remembering.
Let's do it.
Not another sad goodbye. Let's leave footprints for tomorrow that time itself can't wash aside. Every season writes a story. Only honest hearts remain. Real love isn't found in comfort. It's proven through the rain. If you wanna be my woman, know what love is made of. More than kisses in the moonlight. More than saying that's enough. If you wanna be my woman, walk beside me hand in hand. Bring your peace, I'll bring my purpose. Together we'll forever stand. Hold me close when the world gets cold. Speak the truth even when it hurts. Stand beside me when nobody's watching. Love me, not because life is easy, but because we're worth the fight. I'll be your shelter, you be my song. Two imperfect hearts still finding where they belong. If you wanna be my woman, stay with me through every mile. We'll build a home where hope keeps singing, even after tears have dried. If you wanna be my woman, let's grow old without regret. You bring peace, I'll bring purpose. The best is waiting for us. Yet, no pretending, no masks, just two hearts still choosing, still believing, still loving. One more sunrise, one more tomorrow. If you wanna be my woman, let's build forever. One day at a time.